I do have another question. This one is in the chat room. Hello, Larina. Hello, Chris and Kirsten. My question is about the ominous topic of, in quotations, cold calling, and then shudders. I'm not a fan, but my boss is. I am young sales professional in wireless phone sales. Oh, dear.
Your boss, let me guess. The demographics of the boss right now, someone who's like 55 or 60, and it worked for him back in the 70s, so it's got to work for you in this day and age.
And he's holding up a phone. He's saying, "Pick up the phone," right? I remember those days.
As we joke, but we feel your pain, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Keep the question going,
okay, so this one says, where my target audience is medium and enterprise business, I believe cold calling is a dead method of prospecting. Where spending 8 hours a day cold calling is a waste compared to other new modern methods. What is your opinion or advice about cold calling? Oh, I'm looking forward to this one.
Oh, it's a great question. Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, if we think of the process of relationship building, cold calling to try to make a sale is like, calling someone up and asking them to marry you, right, that you've never met before. It doesn't really make any sense. However, sometimes you do have to start somewhere. So cold calling to initiate a relationship in a way that's going to provide value to the other person and little effort on their part is great. So, for example, let's say that you were to call and say, oh, I've got this something that person could really benefit from, an article or whatever. I wanted to drop by your office and drop it off for you. Would that be okay? And they say, sure. And maybe they don't have time to meet with you, but you drop it off and they have a chance to look over it. And then the next step, you're sending an email and you follow up. So you sometimes do have to start from scratch, but to think of that initial call as a sales call, I think is really difficult and if not impossible, especially in today's process.
It's going for broke, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're ending the relationship.
It's interesting you say that because I have the same opinion as you. Is if you're starting out and you have nothing, you got to start somewhere, right? And it takes a bit of time to build up relationships and credibility. Even though I'm not a big fan of cold calling, the process I would use is get a piece of information, get it into a letter, send it off to the person, target them properly, and don't sell them anything. Invite them or give them information, just as you were talking about. Invite them to a seminar, invite them to a session, invite them to a networking event, whatever. Right. And you just follow up, and that's where you start. You say, hey, I'm not trying to sell anything. I just want to give you value. And hopefully a percentage of those people will actually take you up on that. And that's where you meet them, and that's when you start building the relationship.
Exactly. And this also goes back again to the knowing your audience and knowing what their needs are. So if you're just making the assumption that they need something and you're kind of pushing it at them, they're going to resist that. So being able to really say, like, I've learned a lot about your company, and I see, being able to show that you've done your research, you've put your time, and you're not just sending out these blanket emails or making blanket phone calls, that you're really interested in them for a specific reason, that because they could benefit from what you're offering, that really shows something that people might be willing to take that moment to put their attention into.